गिरिवरधारे जय यशोदानन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरामनचारे यमुनातीरामनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज के अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद के नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर के प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद के श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन के जय, गंगा माई के जय, जमुना माई के, भक्ति देवी के, तुलसी देवी के, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद के, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So this evening we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, 2nd verse. Please repeat after me. Bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam. Bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam. Bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam. Bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam. Mataji. bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam bhavāpyayau hi bhūtānāṁ śrutau vistaraśo mayā tvattaḥ kamala-patrākṣa māhātmyam api cāvyayam. Thank you. Please repeat word to word meaning. Bhava, appearance. Apyayau, disappearance. He, certainly. Bhūtānāṁ, of all living entities. Śrutau, have been heard. Vistaraśaḥ, in detail. Mayā, by me. Tvattaḥ, from you. Kamala-patrākṣa, O lotus-eyed one. Māhātmyam, glories. Api, also. Cha, and. Avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Please repeat. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna addresses Lord Kṛṣṇa as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower. Out of his joy, for Krishna has assured him in a previous chapter, ahaṁ Krishṇasya jagata prabhava pralayas tatha. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giring Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So this is a very, very beautiful verse where Arjuna addresses Krishna as, O lotus-eyed one. And Prabhupada specifically is pointing out this aspect. He's saying, Arjuna addresses Lord Kṛṣṇa as lotus-eyed. In this particular verse, you see, the word that denotes lotus is kamala in Sanskrit. There are so many words in Sanskrit which denotes the same thing, lotus. Like, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Kunti Maharani is praising the Lord, and then in that verse where she is glorifying the Lord as Nama Pankaja Nabhaya, Nama Pankaja Maline, Nama pankaja netraya namaste pankajangraye. Pankaja netraya, which means pankaja, there is also lotus. Huh? And then somewhere else we hear Padmanetra, Padmanayana. There Padma also means lotus. And then Ambujaksha, we say Ambuja also means lotus. Nirajaksha, Niraja also means lotus. So, you see, Sanskrit is such a beautiful language. One object, and there are several words to denote that object. It's so beautiful. And you know, once there was this competition held in a school, and the competition was that the children had to write as many names of Krishna as possible. Okay? So the children were busy writing, and when the prize was announced, there was only one boy who actually excelled the number. How he did it? Somehow he knew all these, equivalent names, right, for lotus. Padma, Ambuja, Niraja, Kamala. So he used these words and added all the other, suffixes like Nama Pankaja Nabhaya, then Ambuja Nabhaya, like that. Nabha means navel. But then he kept replacing these, Padma, adding these names, different names of lotuses. And he scored the highest marks. So, glorification of the Lord is easy, and it's very beautiful. But at the same time, it's very difficult also to glorify unless you got the blessings like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was in front of the Lord, then he just went blank. He didn't know how to glorify. The Lord had to keep his conch on his head, and that's how Dhruva Maharaj got all the knowledge to glorify Krishna. So in a similar way, if we want to glorify, if we wish to glorify the Lord, we need that blessing. We need that blessing from our Guru, Vaishnavas, Sadhus, and the Lord Himself. And further in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that how Krishna is saying, I am the source of appearance and disappearance of this entire manifestation. And again, further Prabhupada, he says, Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. This point is very interesting because in Vrindavan, this is the home of Krishna, Sridham Vrindavan. Here, Krishna performed so many miraculous acts, right? As a small baby of few days old, he killed Putana, he sucked her chest and he killed her. He sucked the life out of her. After doing that, he was just acting as if he did nothing. And the Brijvasis, they couldn't understand. They never understood that Krishna killed Putana. And when Krishna kicked the Shakatasura, the cart demon, then, he was kicked to the sky and then he fell down dead. And all those Brijbasi children who were there, they complained to Nanda Maharaj. They told him, Baba, Nanda Baba, do you know what? Nanda Baba, actually, Yashoda Mai, Nanda Baba, when they came and asked, what happened? How come all this chaos here? Then the children, they told Nanda Baba, Baba, Krishna kicked the cart. But then Nanda Baba just told it, are you mad? Are you pagal? How can little baby kick the cart and kill that demon, whoever was in the cart? So Brajvasis, they don't believe that Krishna, could do all these miraculous acts. When Krishna, sometimes Krishna, shared his prowess with the Brajvasis, he would tell, I was Ram, I was the one who killed Ravana, and I'm that, I'm this. And Brajvasis, Jashoda Mai also is like, what? You are scared of that Aubalau sitting outside the Nanda Baba's house. And you're saying you were Ram? You killed that demon, this demon. So, and then, Jashoda Mai tells him, you cry when you're hungry. How can I believe that you did that act, this act? So Krishna is, he stays aloof. He just remains aloof. But then he does all these wonderful acts. And, doing that, through those wonderful acts, what's the purpose? The purpose is to protect his devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. This is the first thing that Krishna says in that verse. I come to protect my devotees, my very dear devotees. But then, by being aloof, what is he, what quality is manifesting? He's like, he doesn't want to take that credit. He does everything, but then he stays aloof. But look at us, Sometimes we also become the source of some appearances, like, we may give birth to a child, or we may have some wealth. We may be the source of that. We might have performed those acts to get that wealth, or, whatever. But then we want to take credit. We will make sure that people know about it, right? This is our nature. But then from this, we have to kind of learn from, actually Krishna is teaching us, every moment. But then these are the big lessons that we can learn. Just to be aloof. Do your duty, become the source of all that is there, all that you want. But then stay aloof. Don't, act with ego that you're the doer, So this is what, this one of the biggest lessons we can take, from these acts of Krishna. And Prabhupada is saying here, as the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, He is all-pervading, yet He is not personally present everywhere. This I thought is very, very interesting, because there's so many, examples through which we can understand this particular point. When I was just reading this, so many things came into my tiny little brain. In South India, there's this place called Holy Tirtha called Udupi. How many of you have visited Udupi here? Only one person? Okay, you have also. Others? You must visit that place. There's a deity of Krishna installed by Sri Madhvacharya, who is the head of, who is a parampara head, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And that deity, he had installed this deity in one particular direction. See, in that campus of the temple, there is a Madhva Sarovara. There is a lake in the center of that temple. And he had installed the deity facing that Sarovara, okay? And I think he stayed like that for years and years. just recently, like 500, years ago, maybe he's the contemporary of Mahaprabhu, I'm not sure, but just before that, appeared this great devotee called Kanakadasa. And in South, like how we have Babajis and we call the devotees as with different names, like Babajis, Sadhus, Bhaktivinoda, like Thakur also we say, like for our Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Like that, in South we have Dasa Parampara, where there's a whole, a whole set of this dasas who took initiation in the Madhva line, and then they glorified the Lord through bhajans. They wrote many, many bhajans, and they sang it also, and they compose it in such a way that you can sing it with a particular raga, the Indian classical raga, like that. So in that parampara, we find Purandara Dasa, Kanaka Dasa, Vijaya Tirtha Dasa, like that. So many dasas in that parampara. So one of them, Kanaka Dasa, he took initiation from Vyasa Tirtha in that Madhva line. And then he was a shepherd. He was from a shepherd family. Those who take care of sheep. And in that Madhva temple, all others were Brahmanas, who were born Brahmanas. And but all those Brahmanas, they would follow certain etiquette there. They wouldn't touch the Shudras, they would follow certain etiquette. But Vyasa Tirtha, he would always give all the due respect to Kanakadasa, and because of his devotional caliber, that high caliber of his, devotion, he recognized that in Kanakadasa. But then the other Brahmanas, they would always envy Kanakadasa, like they would always complain to Vyasa Tirtha, how come you invite him inside, you give him Charanamrita, you give him prasad in his hand, This is not fair. We are the higher class. You can't take a Shudra inside like this. So this was going on. But then Vyasa Tirtha once, he thought, I want all of these Brahmanas to realize, their devotional caliber, and see how Kanakadasa is much higher than them. So once during an Ekadashi, see, sometimes astrologically what happens is there's 2 Ekadashis, consecutively. There's Upari, it's called an Upari. Ekadashi begins today, and then it continues until tomorrow, sunrise. So they follow Ekadashi on both the days. So one of those Ekadashi times, see, in Madhva Parampara, some of those yatis, the sannyasis, and the residents there, they follow Ekadashi very strictly. They do nirjala. That's their way of doing their austerity. So Vyasa Tirtha called all of the ashram mates, and also he called Kanakadasa, and then he told them all that see, today is also Ekadashi and tomorrow is also Ekadashi. So I'm giving you some fruit, because you can't stay hungry for 2 days, without even water. So take these, bananas. He gave few bananas to maybe two bananas each. He gave them, and then he told them that take these bananas, eat them, but on one condition. And what's the condition? You eat in a place where nobody watches you. That was the condition that Vyasa Tirtha put. They said, okay, Guruji, Gurudev, no problem. So they all, went, and then the last person to receive the prasadam was Kanakadasa. Then he also gave him the same instruction. And then 2 days later, on Dvadashi, again Vyasatirtha invited everybody. And then he asked each one, so tell me, did you eat the fruit that I have given? And where did you eat? Like that. So one of them, they said, Gurudev, I took a dip in the river, and in the time duration that I took a dip and came out, within that duration, I had the fruit. And then somebody else said, Gurudev, I was laying down, I laid down on the bed, and then I covered the blanket, and I knew nobody is watching me. Then I had my fruit. And then somebody else said, Gurudev, I went to a horrible place and I had it because there nobody usually comes. There was like toilets or something. So I went and had there. So like this, each one told, that this is where I went and like that. And so Vyasatirtha asked, so all of you had the fruit? They said, yes, Gurudev, we did. They said, great. So let me call Kanaka. So he called Kanakadasa. So Kanaka, what happened? Where did you eat your fruit? And Kanakadasa, he carried the fruit along. Then he gave it back to Gurudev. He said, Gurudev, please let me know if you know any place where nobody is watching you. Because wherever I went, I always felt that somebody is watching me. The sun watching me. In the evening, there's moon watching me. And constantly Paramatma is with me. And Paramatma is watching me all the time. And so, I couldn't find a place where nobody is watching me. And I couldn't follow your instruction. I'm so sorry. So I'm returning the fruit. So all those brahmanas who thought that we were like, we are the higher class and we are the most scholarly, they put their head down. So this was, how you say that, how Kanakadasa was, his devotion was so pure and of such a high level of devotion to Krishna, Guru and Krishna. So the point that I was going to make was, Krishna is all-pervading, but he is not personally present. So, in our lives, in our daily lives, we get to experience this. So can some of you share your experiences, how you experience Krishna? Maybe not personally present, but he's there. Can some of you say, like our daily thing, how Krishna is present? Yes?
Many times, Hare Krishna, many times it's like sometimes I thought it's like sometimes I was hungry, sometimes I was thinking to something, I will get it. And after that desire, immediately or 5 minutes later or 2 minutes later, immediately, somehow I
get the prasad. Anybody else who wants to share how you see Krishna, like the presence of Krishna? Yes?
When you desire to do something for Krishna, say you want to make a cake or you want to do something, somehow everything comes together that you need.
Yes.
He helps you because you have the desire. Even though he's not presently there, but you know that he has put this together.
Yes.
You have that desire.
Yes.
And he wants it.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Okay, so Krishna is present with us in the form of holy name, we are constant, whenever we are chanting, he's in the form of holy name. And he's in the form of prasad. You see, I have got some prasadam for you. Jagannath Mahaprasad is right here. He is in the form of prasad, and Krishna is in the form of devotees. Look at each one of you like, oh my God, Krishna is there. And then Krishna is in the form of Gita, Bhagavatam. And if we look at the different examples from the Shastra, Krishna appears in different ways. Like for some, Krishna appears, in a dream. Krishna appears in the form of a dream. Like today is most auspicious Snan Yatra, which is the birthday of Jagannath. And how did it all happen? It happened because of that one devotee who wished to see Jagannath as, the Hativesh, who wished to see Jagannath as Ganesh. This story, right? There's one devotee who was really a great servant of Ganesh. And then he was very ananya bhakta of Ganesh. And then he happened to come to Puri, Jagannath Puri, and then there he heard that Jagannath, he manifests any form that anybody wishes to see him in that way, in any way that they want to. So he was like, standing by the door, and then he was wishing to see his worshipable Lord Ganesh. And that happened to be the Snan Yatra day, birthday of Jagannath. And then Jagannath actually gave him darshan of Ganesh with the, what do you call it? Tusk, a trunk. Yeah. So then that's why I think, like on Snan Yatra day, after bathing Jagannath, for a long time, for 2 hours, 3 hours, then they dress him up like an elephant. So Krishna appears as a dream, as a desire. And if we look at in the scriptures, Krishna appeared as sari to Draupadi. See? Draupadi prayed and he just appeared like sari to her. And then any other example you can think of how Krishna appeared? Krishna appears, he just appeared from a pillar. He appeared from a pillar. And sometimes, Krishna appears like a problem to help us. Yeah, and you just look at Srila Prabhupada's life. Krishna, Prabhupada always says that whenever Krishna wants to give himself, then he brings all the troubles to your life. Harishye tad dhanam shanai. Prabhupada, he went through so much loss in his business as a householder. And then when he took sannyas also, or even before, like before sannyas, when he wanted to preach, he never got any support. He went through so many obstacles. And later he says all those obstacles, they only pushed him towards success. Isn't it? All those. And then when he was finally on the Jaladuta to go to America, there Krishna came as, dream. He appeared in his dream when Prabhupada had heart attack. 2 times he appeared and then he told Prabhupada, I am with you. Krishna can appear in any way. Just that, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present. But when you have that faith, even in that non-present, like wherever seems to be that Krishna is not present, we can actually see Krishna in that. Like there's one example of Dhanna Seth. Have you heard of him? Dhanna Seth. He he's born into a farmer family. And then his father used to entertain, all these sadhus into his house, and he would serve them, take care of them, give them, arrange for the lodging in his house, really take care of them like that. So once one sadhu used to visit him quite often, and then this sadhu had a shaligram shila, a tiny shaligram shila, and then he would worship him very carefully. And then Dhanna, as a little boy, he would watch how this sadhu is worshipping the shaligram shila, and he was very, very attracted to that shaligram worship. And then he would ask different questions, and then how, what, all the questions, and then he would learn the answers from this sadhu. And that time that saint stayed in his house for quite some time. And then Dhanna gradually developed attachment to that shaligram shila and then the worship of shaligram shila. And when the time came for the sadhu to leave, then, he packed up his shaligram shila, he was about to leave, and Dhanna started to cry. He said, no, you can't leave, you got to give me that shaligram shila. I want him. Little child, like how Meera got attached to that little Krishna that saint was worshipping, and then like that, similar way. At least there it was in the personal form of Krishna, Giridhar, but here it was a tiny shila, like it looked like a small piece of rock. And Dhanna was crying, no, you please leave this shila here, I will worship. But then the saint, he understood that this boy is really, he has got attached to this shila. Then he said, okay, I'm staying back for 1 or 2 days more, and then I will give you the shila, don't worry. So he devised a plan. He picked up a rock which looked exactly like this shila. Maybe a little bigger in size, but then looked similar. And then when the time came for him to leave, then he, arranged that rock on a beautiful asana, and then his shaligram was arranged in a different asana, the smaller asana. So, and then he, decorated that rock just like how he would decorate the shaligram shila. He garlanded that rock. Exactly, he did the same puja for that rock. And then he called Dhanna and then told him that, look, there's another shila which is here. Which one do you think you want? The small one or big one? And kids always want the bigger gift, bigger one. He said, okay, I want the bigger one, big shila. So that's how the sadhu retained, his shaligram shila. And then he told him, you worship him. He thought, what this Dhanna can do. Just he will worship for a few days, and after that when he gets engrossed in playing or something else, then he will forget that worship, and I don't want him to do any offense to the shaligram shila. So I don't want to leave the shila, original shila, like that. So that was his thinking. But then Dhanna, he took that shila as the shaligram shila. He considered that shila as Thakurji. He considered that shila as Krishna himself. And then he was worshipping that shila with great faith. And then Dhanna had learned how to worship, how to offer everything. And then he would, bring the rotis, and then he would offer whatever the bhoga that would get cooked there in his house. He would offer it to that, his shaligram shila, quote and unquote. So he would worship him with beautiful flowers, make chandan and, put on him, and then whatever he could chant, he would chant and then offer everything. And then for offering, he knew, because the saint had told him that Krishna eats. You will get his remnants. So Dhanna, the very first day, right, he offered it, and then he saw that the Shila did not accept that offering. And he said, "Why, Thakurji, you're not eating? That saint had told me that you will eat. Why you're not eating?" And then he cried, he begged the Shila to accept the food, but there was no reciprocation. And then he told Krishna, he told the Lord in the form of that Shila, that if you don't eat, then I'm also not going to eat. Like this, for a few days he fasted. And then Krishna, he could not stay back. He could not stay back. He was so much carried away by the devotion of this little boy. So the next day when Dhanna made the offering, Krishna actually appeared from that rock and accepted the offering. So, and then, slowly when he became friends with Krishna, and then Krishna would appear every single time Dhanna made an offering. And then he would Dhanna would tell Krishna, "Now after eating, what you're going to do here? Come along with me, to the kheti mein, in the field. Come along with me because I have to take care of the cows and also protect the fields. Come along." And Krishna was like, "You want me to go with you?" He said, "Yes, I want you to come along." So Krishna actually went along with him. And then when Dhanna was busy doing something else, Krishna would take care of Dhanna's cows. So one of these days, when years went by, Dhanna had become very, very, very close to Krishna, whom through, in the form of that rock. Whenever he called while worshipping that rock, Krishna would appear for him. So one of the days, then the saint came back again, many years later, and then the saint, asked, "So how are you doing with your worship?" Then I was like, "Very good." "So are you worshipping? Where is your Lord?" So Dhanna said, "My Lord, he has gone to take care of the cows in the field." And I left him there in the field. I was like, "What?" He said, "Yes, because you have come and I have to serve you. When I'm serving you, then who will take care of the cows?" So then I asked him to take care of the cows. So then the saint told him, "Arre, take me there, let me see." But then in his heart, he was thinking, "Arre, I have been worshipping Shaligram Shila for years and years. I never got to see Krishna. I never got to talk to Krishna. And this one, he's telling that he has sent Krishna to take care of his cows. Let me observe." So when he went to the field, the cows were being taken care very well. And then Dhanna could see Krishna. Dhanna could actually see Krishna. But then the saint could not. He was not able to see. So when Dhanna showed him, "Look, he's there taking care of the cows. Look." He would say, "Where? I can only see the cows. I don't see Krishna anywhere." So then Dhanna goes to Krishna and tells him, "Look, he is my guru. He is the one who taught me to worship you, to take care of you, to have this loving relationship, interaction with you. And now you're not showing yourself to my guru. Come on." But then Krishna said, "No, I can only show myself to you." But Dhanna is like, No, please show yourself to my guru." So under the request of Dhanna, then Krishna appeared, for his guru. So you see, if you have that faith, so Krishna is all-pervading, but if you have faith, then that same Krishna who is all-pervading and who is like so-called not personally present, he will become personally present. Just now I thought of, I don't know, one more example came to my mind. So anyways, so Krishna, he appears in, although he is all-pervading, he actually becomes personally present. Like just this afternoon, I had parked my vehicle in a place where the entrance of that area was a little higher than where I had parked the bike. So while parking the bike, it was easy because I just went high up and then went down and I parked. And while when I had to take the vehicle, out, then from ground, I had to raise my vehicle up, right? So I had put this accelerator high and something happened and the chain came out of its place. I didn't know what to do and the vehicle just slipped. Nothing happened, it just slipped. Then I just walked out of the vehicle. Suddenly one boy came running. He was dark in color. He just came running. And then he said, Mataji, you go that side. And then he picked up the vehicle. I said, Prabhu, I can see the chain has come out of, it's come out of its place. Mataji, you just be here. Let me fix it. And then he took the vehicle that side. And then as I'm looking, he just fixed the chain. And I was thinking, oh Krishna, is that like Jagannath, Because I was from whole morning, I was in Jagannath Mandir there, cooking, assisting the cooks and all that. And here, when I'm in difficulty, he helps. Like you said, whenever you wish something, Krishna makes sure that he is present. So when this vehicle fell off, actually, if there was nobody, I wouldn't have managed. I wouldn't have managed it. But then like in seconds, this boy came and instantly he fixed the vehicle. And then he says, Mataji, now you can go safely. I was thinking, oh my God, Krishna. And then all the way I was thinking, Jagannath, was that you? Was that you? Was that you? So, you never know. You never know how Krishna appears in your life. He may appear as problem. He may appear as in the form of happiness also. Just that you got to be grateful at every moment, because every moment that Krishna gives us, it's to realize something, to understand, His favor on us, right? So, so with this point, that Prabhupada is writing, that is the, again, I'm going to read this again. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, He is all-pervading, yet He is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. Once, I lived in Mayapur for a few years, and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu, the very first time that I heard this point, I was like, oh my God. He was saying how Krishna is all-pervading and He's present in every single atom. This we know. He's present in every single atom. And then Jananivas Prabhu continued, He is present in between those two atoms also. That means there is no space where he is not present. He is present in every atom of the space that maybe we can't see, here, right here, everywhere he is there. So the greatest gift that we have got, that Prabhupada has given us, the chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is there. I don't know, when one of Prabhupada's disciples was giving a lecture, this was, I think, in the presence of Prabhupada. Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to, preach, give classes, share the Krishna Katha. So I think he was saying something like, Krishna is in his name. Or you might correct me if I'm wrong. And then Prabhupada, he said, it's not Krishna is in his name. Krishna is his name. Like Krishna, the holy name Krishna and the personality Krishna, there's no difference. So the moment you chant Krishna, Krishna is there. And the holy names, in the contemporary words, is our Wi-Fi connection to Krishna. So if we can constantly connect to this Wi-Fi, then definitely, we can be in touch with Krishna and understand his presence every single moment and then be grateful to him. Thank you so much. We have like 4 minutes left. If you have any comments, most welcome. Maybe you can share, your experience of Krishna's presence in your life. 1 or 2 shared.
You will not be noticing the experience that is Krishna's presence in our life many times. You will be experiencing.
Yeah, share that. It's nice to hear. Please.
I have one more experience.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to Vrindavan before 4 or 5 months ago, then I was going to Arjuna, I was in Bangalore before that. Then I thought I should go to Vrindavan and I should take my mother also Vrindavan. Then I came here and I was going back, 4 or 5 days I took darshan and we went everywhere on darshan. So after that, when I was going from Vrindavan, then Krishna came in my dream and he said, you don't go to Vrindavan. When I was at station, that time I was in train. Then Krishna said me, you don't go from Vrindavan. And I said, what I should do now? I was confused. But I went. After that, I told to some of my friends. So it happened with me. So what I should do? Then even I went Bangalore again. Then I went, and after that, everything was happening in the way I was suffocated. I was not staying there. I was not able to stay there. And I thought I should come back. And after 1 month, I came back. And after that, I wanted to go back to my home. For 2 or 3 days, I have some work. So I am thinking from many days, from 5, 10, 1 month. I am thinking I will go to my home. And when I am thinking to go, and evening time, it's coming in my don't go. I'm not able to go even for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, so Krishna appears like in dream. The the devotee who was speaking Hindi, is giving lecture in Hindi just before me. His verse that he was speaking on was Rasoham apsu kaunteya, prabhasmi shashi surya yoho. Like, the air we breathe, the light we experience, the light we see, everything it's Krishna. It's Krishna's presence. My grandmother as a child, she used to teach me, sun is the only God that you can see in person. See, you can see sun god, offer water to him, like that. So teaching, from the young age, to see Krishna's presence in everything that's around us. Like see Krishna's presence in your parents. Like small children, they say that until the age of 5, they are like God. Everywhere, I think in every culture it is there. You see that innocence, that the childishness, the innocence, the purity of the child is, as good as God's. And Jananios Prabhu once told me that the love of a mother for her children is the closest to love of Godhead. You see, so these are the little things, that we can experience Krishna in our daily lives. Okay? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki